The sirens wailed across Kepler Station as another wave of enemy fire shook the massive structure. Commander Sarah Chen gripped the railing of the command center, watching the tactical display with growing dread. Red dots surrounded the blue marker that represented their home, humanity's last major outpost in this part of space. How many ships do they have out there? Chen asked her tactical officer. Lieutenant Rodriguez looked up from his console, sweat beading on his forehead. At least 300, Commander. Zephyrian heavy cruisers, Vex battle platforms, and those new Ethereal ships we've never seen before. Chen closed her eyes for a moment. 3 years ago, the alien coalition had started their campaign to wipe out human colonies. They called it pest control, removing the human infestation from their galaxy. One by one, human settlements had fallen. Now only Kepler Station remained, protected by a handful of frigates and some defense platforms that were already showing damage. Sir, incoming transmission from the Zephyrian flagship, the communications officer announced. Put it through. The main screen flickered, showing the reptilian face of Admiral Thaxalon. His yellow eyes gleamed with satisfaction as he spoke. Human Commander Chen, I am Admiral Thaxalon of the Zephyrian fleet. You have fought well, but this ends now. Surrender your station and we will make your deaths quick. Chen straightened her uniform. Admiral, this is Commander Chen of Kepler Station. We don't surrender. We never have and we never will. Thaxalon's mouth opened in what might have been a laugh, showing rows of sharp teeth. Your species is stubborn to the point of stupidity. Very well. You have 1 hour to reconsider. After that, we will destroy your station and every human on it. The screen went black. Chen turned to her crew, seeing the fear in their eyes mixed with determination. These were good people, scientists, engineers, families who had made their homes here among the stars. All hands, this is the commander. She spoke into the station-wide communication system. The enemy has given us 1 hour. We're going to use every minute of it. All civilians to the emergency shelters. All defense personnel to battle stations. The next hour passed like a nightmare. The alien ships moved into attack formation, their weapons charging with deadly light. Chen counted them again. Massive Zephyrian dreadnoughts with their thick armor and heavy guns, sleek Vex ships covered in strange technology, and the mysterious ethereal vessels that seemed to shimmer in and out of reality. Commander, we're getting reports from our scouts, Rodriguez said. The entire Galactic News Network is here. Ships from a dozen neutral species all watching from a safe distance. Chen nodded grimly. The galaxy wanted to see the end of humanity. They wanted to watch the dangerous humans finally get what the aliens thought they deserved. For 3 years, the Coalition had painted humans as violent monsters who didn't belong among civilized species. Time's up, Rodriguez announced. On the screen, Admiral Thaxalon appeared again. Commander Chen, what is your answer? The same as before, Admiral. We don't surrender. Thaxalon's eyes narrowed. Then you have chosen death. All ships prepare to fire. Chen watched the tactical display as hundreds of weapons locked onto Kepler Station. Their own defenses were ready, but it wouldn't be enough. Not nearly enough. It's been an honor serving with all of you, she told her crew. Likewise, Commander, Rodriguez replied, and the others nodded. The Zephyrian flagship's main gun began to glow with deadly energy. Around it, the other ships powered up their weapons. This was it, the end of humanity's presence in this part of space. Then something impossible happened. Commander, the sensor operator shouted. I'm reading a massive energy signature. Something's appearing behind the alien fleet. Chen spun around to look at the tactical display. Where empty space had been moments before, a new contact was forming. The energy readings were off the charts. What is that? She whispered. The answer came as space itself seemed to tear open. A ship materialized from nothing, not jumping in from hyperspace, but actually appearing as if it had been invisible. The vessel was enormous, easily 3 kilometers long, with a sleek black hull that seemed to absorb light. The alien fleet was in chaos. Ships that had been in perfect formation suddenly broke ranks as captains tried to understand what they were seeing. Emergency transmissions flooded the communication channels as alien commanders demanded to know where this ship had come from. Are those human energy signatures? Rodriguez asked, staring at his instruments. Impossible, Chen breathed. We don't have any ships that big. We don't have technology that can do whatever that just did. On the alien command channels, which they had been monitoring, voices spoke in a dozen different languages. Fear was clear in every one of them. Unknown vessel, identify yourself. Admiral Thaxilon's voice cut through the noise. The mystery ship's response came on all frequencies in perfect galactic standard language. This is Captain Marcus Rivera of the United Earthship Phantom. You are attacking a human civilian station. Stand down immediately. Chen felt her heart skip. A human ship, but how? Earth's fleet had been destroyed in the early days of the war. The colonies had been on their own ever since. Admiral Thaxilon recovered quickly from his surprise. Human ship, you are one vessel against our entire fleet. Withdraw now or be destroyed with the others. Negative, came Captain Rivera's calm reply. You have 30 seconds to begin withdrawing from this system. The alien admiral's laughter echoed across the channels. You are either very brave or very stupid, human. Let me show you what happens to those who defy the coalition. Chen watched in horror as the Zephyrian flagship turned its massive guns toward the mysterious human ship. The other alien vessels followed suit. Hundreds of weapons aimed at the lone vessel that had appeared from nowhere. Phantom, this is Kepler Station, Chen transmitted. There are too many of them. You should run while you can. Thank you for the concern, Commander Chen, Rivera replied. But we've been waiting for this moment for a very long time. The alien weapons fired. Beams of energy and projectiles filled space as the coalition fleet unleashed everything they had at the human ship. The barrage was so intense that sensors couldn't track individual shots. When the firing stopped and the energy cleared, Chen expected to see debris. Instead, the Phantom hung in space exactly where it had been. Its hull showed no damage at all. Impossible, Thaxilon whispered, his voice carrying over the open channel. Our turn, Captain Rivera said simply. The black ship began to move, and Chen realized that everything they thought they knew about human technology was wrong. The Phantom didn't just fly. It seemed to dance through space, moving in ways that should have been impossible for something so large, and then it opened fire. Chen had seen alien weapons before. She had watched Zephyrian guns tear apart human ships. She had seen Vex energy beams cut through the strongest armor. But what the Phantom unleashed was something entirely different. Beams of impossible energy reached out from the human ship, and where they touched alien vessels, those ships simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed, erased, as if they had never been there at all. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity had been hiding more than anyone had imagined. Captain Marcus Rivera stood on the bridge of the Phantom, watching the alien fleet scramble to understand what had just happened. 2 years of hiding in the dark spaces between stars had led to this moment. 2 years of watching, learning, and preparing while the galaxy thought humanity was dying. Tactical. Report, Rivera said calmly. 17 enemy vessels destroyed in the first volley. Captain, replied Lieutenant Commander Hayes. The Zephyrian flagship is trying to reorganize their formation, but they're in complete chaos, Rivera nodded. The bridge around him was unlike anything in the known galaxy. Holographic displays showed every ship in the system, every energy signature, every communication. The Phantom's quantum computers processed information faster than any alien technology could match. Sir, we're receiving panicked transmissions from the neutral observer ships, the communications officer reported. They're demanding to know what kind of weapon we just used. Let them wonder, Rivera replied. All stations prepare for Phase 2. On Kepler Station, Commander Chen stared at her tactical display in disbelief. The human ship that had appeared from nowhere was now cutting through the alien fleet like it was made of paper. Zephyrian dreadnoughts that had taken years to build were being destroyed in seconds. Commander, I'm reading massive energy spikes from that ship, Rodriguez said. The power output it's impossible. No reactor should be able to generate that much energy. Chen opened a channel to the Phantom. Captain Rivera, this is Commander Chen. How is this possible? Where did you come from? Rivera's voice came back steady and calm. Commander, we've been out here for 2 years. Watching, learning. The galaxy thought Earth was destroyed, but we've been very busy. Admiral Thaxilon's flagship fired everything it had at the Phantom. Energy beams, missiles, and projectile weapons all struck the human ship's hull. The weapons that could destroy a space station barely scratched the black armor. Impossible! Thaxilon roared over the communication channels. No human technology can withstand our weapons. The Phantom's response was swift and terrible. A single beam of concentrated energy reached out from the human ship and touched the Zephyrian flagship. The massive vessel which had led the destruction of human colonies for 3 years simply vanished. One moment it was there, the next it was empty space. Panic spread through the alien fleet. Ships that had been advancing now tried to retreat. Captains who had been confident of victory now screamed orders to their crews. "This is Captain Rivera to all coalition vessels." The human's voice cut through the chaos. "You came here to destroy a civilian station. You came here expecting to find helpless humans. You were wrong." On the bridge of a Vex battle platform, Commander Zix-9 analyzed the impossible data flowing across his screens. The Vex were known throughout the galaxy for their advanced technology, but what he was seeing made no sense. "The human ship's hull composition is unknown," his science officer reported. "The energy weapons use principles we cannot identify. The propulsion system appears to manipulate space-time itself." Zix-9's mechanical voice was flat with disbelief. How did a primitive species develop such technology? The answer came as the Phantom demonstrated another impossible capability. The ship simply vanished from sensors, becoming completely invisible. Then it reappeared behind a group of Vex vessels and destroyed them before they could react. "Stealth technology beyond our understanding," Zix-9 said quietly. "They have been watching us." Aboard an ethereal Dominion ship, Scion Veltar tried to probe the human vessel with his mental powers. The Ethereals were masters of the mind, able to read thoughts and control the actions of other species. But when he reached toward the Phantom, he found nothing. "The human minds are shielded," he reported to his captain. "Not just protected, they are chaotic, unpredictable. I cannot read them at all." The ethereal captain's eyes widened. "Impossible. No species is immune to our mental touch." "These humans are different," Veltar replied. "Their thoughts move in patterns we do not understand. They think in ways that make no sense to us." Back on the Phantom's bridge, Rivera received reports from all sections of his ship. The crew worked with a coordination that would have amazed alien observers. Enhanced by neural interfaces and trained for 2 years in deep space, they operated as a single unit. "Captain, enemy fleet is breaking formation," Hayes reported. "They're trying to retreat." "Negative," Rivera said firmly. "They came here to commit genocide. They don't get to leave and try again somewhere else." The Phantom moved through space like a predator among prey. Its weapons reached out with impossible accuracy, destroying ships faster than they could escape. But Rivera wasn't just trying to win a battle. He was sending a message to the entire galaxy. "Open a channel to all observer ships," he ordered. "Channel open, sir." Rivera's voice went out to the neutral vessels watching from the edge of the system, ships from dozens of species that had remained silent while humanity was being destroyed. "This is Captain Rivera of the United Earth ship Phantom. For 3 years you have watched as the Coalition tried to wipe out every human in this part of space. You did nothing. You called us primitive. You called us dangerous. You were right about one thing. We are dangerous, but only to those who threaten innocent people." On the bridge of a Centauri observation ship, Captain Telvar watched the impossible battle with growing fear. "Send a message to the home fleet immediately," he ordered. "Tell them everything has changed. The humans are not what we thought they were." The Phantom continued its deadly work. Coalition ships that had seemed invincible were being destroyed one after another. The aliens' weapons couldn't penetrate human armor. Their sensors couldn't track human stealth technology. Their tactics meant nothing against human unpredictability, sir. "We're receiving surrender signals from multiple Coalition vessels," the communications officer reported. Rivera considered this for a moment. "Tell them to power down their weapons and prepare to be boarded. Any ship that tries to run will be destroyed." Admiral Thaxilon was dead, his flagship gone. The Zephyrian fleet was in ruins. The Vex had lost half their ships. The Ethereals were retreating in panic, their mental powers useless against human minds. Commander Chen watched from Kepler station as the impossible battle reached its end. The alien fleet that had come to destroy them was either destroyed or surrendering. The mysterious human ship hung in space like an avenging angel. "Captain Rivera," she transmitted. "Thank you. But I have to ask, where have you been for 3 years? Why didn't you help the other colonies?" Rivera's response was quiet and serious. "Commander, we had to learn. We had to understand our enemies. Every battle they won, every colony they destroyed, we were watching. We were learning their tactics, their technology, their weaknesses. It was difficult to watch and not act. But now we're ready." "Ready for what?" "To make sure this never happens again," Rivera said. "The galaxy is about to learn that humanity is not going away. We're not hiding anymore, and we're not afraid." As the last coalition ships either surrendered or burned in space, emergency transmissions raced across the galaxy. The news was impossible, but it was true. The humans had technology beyond anything the galaxy had seen. They had been hiding, watching, preparing. The galaxy had tried to destroy humanity. Instead, they had created something they were not prepared to face. The news spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. Within hours of the battle at Kepler Station, every major species knew what had happened. The humans, who were supposed to be nearly extinct, had appeared with technology that defied understanding. On the Vex homeworld of Nexus Prime, the High Council gathered in emergency session. The chamber was filled with beings that were part machine, part organic, their cybernetic enhancements glowing as they processed the impossible data. "Show us the recordings again," demanded Architect Prime Zex Alpha. The holographic display activated, showing the Phantom as it destroyed coalition ships with ease. The Vex had always prided themselves on having the most advanced technology in the galaxy. Their ships were marvels of engineering, their weapons precise and powerful. But what they were watching made their achievements look primitive. "Analysis complete," reported Science Coordinator. "VIC-7, the human weapon systems use gravitational manipulation on a scale we cannot replicate. Their armor appears to bend space around the ship, making conventional weapons ineffective. Their propulsion system operates outside our understanding of physics." Architect Prime's mechanical voice was flat with disbelief. "How did they develop such technology? Our intelligence networks showed no sign of these capabilities." "Perhaps," VIC-7 said quietly, "our intelligence networks were being watched." The implications of that statement sent a chill through the council. The Vex had spy networks throughout the galaxy. Their information gathering was legendary. But if the humans had been monitoring them while remaining invisible, "We need to contact Earth immediately," Architect Prime decided. "We must know what else they are hiding." Meanwhile, on the ethereal homeworld of Transcendence, the Dominion's most powerful scions gathered in the Mind Palace. These beings had evolved beyond physical form, existing as pure thought and energy. For millennia, they had been able to read the thoughts of any species they encountered. High Scion Mordeth floated in the center of the assembly, his energy form pulsing with confusion. "I have reviewed the mental echoes from our forces at Kepler Station," he announced. "The human minds are unlike anything we have encountered." "Explain," commanded Elder Scion Velthara. "Their thoughts move in patterns that change constantly," Mordeth replied. "Where other species think in straight lines, humans think in spirals, loops, and impossible angles. They make connections between ideas that should not be connected. They reach conclusions through paths we cannot follow. Are they telepathically shielded?" "No," Mordeth said, his form dimming. "They are simply chaos given thought. We cannot read what we cannot understand." The assembly was silent as they processed this information. The Ethereals had built their empire on their ability to control other minds. If humans were immune to their power, on Zephyr Prime the reptilian Senate was in uproar. The proud warrior species had never suffered such a devastating defeat. Entire fleets had been destroyed by a single human ship. War leader Krathex slammed his clawed fist on the speaking platform. "This is impossible. The humans had no fleet." "Our spies confirmed this." "Perhaps," Senator Velthos said coldly. "Our spies saw only what the humans wanted them to see." The thought that they had been deceived for years sent rage through the assembled Zephyrians. They were a proud species, conquerors who had built their empire through strength and cunning. The idea that the primitive humans had been manipulating them was almost too much to bear. "We must gather every ship we have," Krathex declared. "We will crush these humans once and for all." "With what?" Velthos asked quietly. "Half our fleet is gone. The humans have technology we cannot match, and now the galaxy knows we can be defeated." Back at Kepler Station, Commander Chen was dealing with her own impossible situation. The battle was over, but the questions were just beginning. Ships from dozens of species were arriving, all wanting to know about the mysterious human vessel. "Commander, we have requests for meetings from 17 different ambassadors," Rodriguez reported. "The Centauri want to discuss a trade agreement. The Aquarians are offering a military alliance. Even the hegemony is asking for talks." Chen shook her head in amazement. 2 days ago, these same species had been ignoring humanity's pleas for help. Now they all wanted to be friends. What about the Phantom? she asked. Still here, still not answering detailed questions about their technology, Rodriguez replied. Captain Rivera says they'll stay until all coalition forces leave the system. On the bridge of the Phantom, Captain Rivera was having his own discussions with his crew. The ship that had appeared from nowhere was indeed human, but it represented technology that even Earth's best scientists had thought impossible just 5 years ago. Sir, we're receiving analysis requests from every major species, reported Science Officer Dr. Park. They all want to know how our systems work. Let them wonder, Rivera replied. The longer they don't understand our capabilities, the better. Lieutenant Commander Hayes looked up from her tactical station. Captain, I'm reading massive fleet movements throughout the galaxy. It looks like everyone is repositioning their forces. Rivera nodded. This was expected. The balance of power had shifted overnight, and every species was trying to figure out where they stood in the new order. Sir, incoming transmission from Earth Command, the communications officer announced. The main screen activated, showing Admiral Sarah Martinez, the head of Earth's remaining forces. Her face was tired but determined. Marcus, good work out there, she said. How's your crew holding up? Fine, Admiral. The ship performed exactly as designed. Martinez nodded. Good, because things are about to get very busy. We're receiving communication requests from every government in the galaxy. Everyone wants to know what humanity is really capable of. What are your orders, ma'am? Continue your mission, Martinez replied. But be prepared. The Phantom isn't going to be a secret much longer. The galaxy needs to see that we're not just lucky. We're prepared. Rivera understood. The Phantom was just the beginning. Earth had been busy during the 3 years of the Coalition's war against humanity. Very busy. One more thing, Marcus, Martinez added. The President is going to make an announcement to the Galactic Council tomorrow. It's time for humanity to step out of the shadows. After the transmission ended, Rivera turned to his crew. These men and women had volunteered for a mission that required them to hide in space for 2 years, watching their people suffer while gathering intelligence. They had stayed hidden while human colonies burned, all for this moment. All hands, this is the captain, he announced over the ship's communication system. Today we showed the galaxy that humanity will not be pushed around. Tomorrow they're going to learn that we're just getting started. The Phantom continued its patrol around Kepler Station, its black hull reflecting the stars. To the alien observers watching from a safe distance, it looked like a predator guarding its territory. They were not wrong. In the depths of space, other human ships began to decloak. Ships that had been invisible for months, watching and waiting. The galaxy had thought they were fighting the last desperate remnants of humanity. They had no idea what was coming next. The Phantom had been humanity's introduction to the galaxy. Soon they would meet the rest of the fleet that Earth had been building in secret. Ships designed with one purpose, to ensure that humanity would never again face extinction, alone. The galaxy was about to learn that the humans they had tried to destroy were far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. The Galactic Council chamber had never seen anything like it. Representatives from hundreds of species filled the massive hall, their voices creating a noise that even the advanced translation systems struggled to process. Emergency sessions were rare, but what had happened at Kepler Station demanded immediate attention. Chancellor Morgoth of the Hegemony called for order, his massive form towering over the speaking platform. The Hegemony had remained neutral during the Coalition's war against humanity, but even they were shaken by recent events. We are here to discuss the human situation, Morgoth announced, his voice booming through the chamber. 3 days ago, a single human vessel destroyed or captured an entire Coalition fleet. We need answers. Ambassador Thelvan of the Centauri Federation stood first. Chancellor, my government has analyzed the battle recordings. The human technology appears to be centuries ahead of anything in our databases. Impossible, snapped war leader Krathex of the Zephyrians, his scales dark with anger. The humans are primitives. They barely had spaceflight when we first encountered them. Perhaps, said a calm voice from the back of the chamber. You should have looked more carefully. Every head turned as Ambassador Elena Vasquez of Earth walked down the central aisle. The human looked small compared to the alien representatives around her, but she moved with quiet confidence. Behind her walked 2 others, a human male in a military uniform and a woman in scientist's clothing. The chamber erupted in surprised voices. Humanity had been granted a seat on the council years ago, but their representative had been absent since the coalition began their campaign of destruction. Ambassador Vasquez, Chancellor Morgoth said carefully. We were told that Earth's government had been disrupted. Elena smiled coldly. Earth is fine, Chancellor. We've been very busy. She reached the speaking platform and activated the holographic display. The image that appeared made several alien representatives gasp. It showed a massive space station hidden in the outer reaches of the Sol system, surrounded by dozens of ships similar to the Phantom. For the past 5 years, Earth has been preparing, Elena announced. We knew that some species in this galaxy saw us as a threat. We knew that eventually someone would try to wipe us out, so we prepared. War Leader Krathik stood up angrily. You cannot have built such a fleet in secret. Our intelligence networks would have detected it. The human military officer beside Elena stepped forward. Admiral David Chen, Earth Defense Force. Your intelligence network saw exactly what we wanted them to see. He activated another display, showing detailed recordings of Zephyrian spy satellites being fed false information, coalition intelligence ships following decoy signals while the real construction happened elsewhere. Every move your coalition made, we knew about in advance, Admiral Chen continued. Every attack was monitored. Every strategy was recorded and analyzed. Ambassador Zix-9 of the Vex Collective processed this information with visible difficulty. You are claiming that humans deceived the most advanced intelligence networks in the galaxy? Dr. Sarah Kim, the human scientist, smiled. Not just deceived, we learned. Every time you scanned our systems, we scanned yours in return. Every time you hacked our communications, we hacked yours. You taught us everything we needed to know about your technology. That's impossible, Zix-9 insisted. Human computational systems are primitive compared to Vex technology. We're primitive, Dr. Kim corrected. We've made some improvements. She activated a data stream that made the Vex representative's cybernetic implants spark with overload. The information was being processed and transmitted faster than any known system could handle. How? Zix-9 whispered. By thinking differently, Dr. Kim replied. You build machines to think like you do. We built machines to think like humans do. Chaotic, unpredictable, creative. High Scion Veltar of the Ethereal Dominion had been trying to read the human mind since they entered the chamber. His frustration was growing by the minute. These humans are wrong, he announced. Their thoughts cannot be read or predicted. Because we think in ways you can't understand, Elena said calmly. Your species evolved to be logical, predictable, orderly. Humans evolved to be survivors. We adapt, we improvise. We do whatever it takes to protect our people. Chancellor Morgoth raised his massive hand for silence. Ambassador Vasquez, what does Earth want? Are you here to threaten us? Elena's expression softened slightly. No, Chancellor. We're here to offer a new beginning. The Coalition tried to destroy us because they feared human unpredictability. They were right to be afraid, but for the wrong reasons. She gestured to Admiral Chen, who activated a new display showing human colonies throughout the galaxy. Not the destroyed settlements the Coalition had targeted, but new ones, hidden and protected. During the 3 years of the Coalition's war, we didn't just hide and build ships, Elena explained. We evacuated our people. We built new colonies in places no one thought to look. We saved everyone we could. The Coalition destroyed dozens of human settlements, protested Ambassador Thelvan. Empty settlements, Admiral Chen replied. Oh, there were people there. Volunteers who stayed behind to make the attacks look real. But the real populations had been evacuated months before each attack. War Leader Krathik stood again, his voice filled with rage. You made us look like fools. You made yourselves look like fools, Elena replied coldly. You decided to commit genocide without bothering to understand your target. That's not our fault, Dr. Kim stepped forward again. The quantum computers that run our ships don't just process information faster than your systems. They process it differently. They make connections that linear thinking can't achieve. That's why your tactical programs couldn't predict our battle strategies. And our neural enhancement technology, Admiral Chen added, allows our crews to work together in ways that your species can't match. When humans work as a team, we become something greater than the sum of our parts. High Scion Veltar's energy form pulsed with confusion. But how do you coordinate without telepathy? How do you share thoughts without mental links? We don't share thoughts, Elena explained. We share trust. We share purpose. We share the knowledge that we'll do anything to protect each other. The chamber was silent as the implications sank in. The galaxy had spent 3 years trying to destroy what they thought was a primitive, dying species. Instead, they had been fighting shadows while the real humanity grew stronger and more advanced. What happens now? Chancellor Morgoth asked finally. Elena smiled, and for the first time it was warm instead of cold. Now we build something better. The Coalition's war is over. The species that joined it can choose to make peace with humanity, or they can face the consequences of continuing hostilities. And the neutral species? Asked Ambassador Thelvan. The neutral species can choose to remain neutral, Elena replied, or they can choose to be partners. We're offering technological exchange, mutual defense agreements, and cultural cooperation to anyone interested in treating humans as equals. War Leader Krathex snarled. And if we refuse? Admiral Chen's expression grew cold. Then you'll discover that the Phantom was just our opening move. Earth has been very busy for 5 years, War Leader. You've seen one ship. We have many more. How many more? Demanded Ambassador Zix-9. Elena's smile returned. Enough. As the human delegation prepared to leave, Dr. Kim activated one final display. It showed space around Earth, but now with the stealth systems turned off. Hundreds of ships became visible, from massive dreadnoughts to small but deadly fighters, construction platforms that dwarfed anything the galaxy had seen, defense systems that could protect the entire Sol system. The galaxy thought they were fighting the last humans, Elena said as she walked toward the exit. They were wrong. They were fighting the first humans of a new age. The chamber remained silent long after the human delegation had left. The galaxy had learned that humanity was not the weak, primitive species they had believed. The question now was what they were going to do about it. 6 months after the Battle of Kepler Station, the galaxy looked very different. The Zephyrian alliance had collapsed overnight as member species abandoned what they now saw as a lost cause. The Vex Collective had withdrawn to their core systems, desperately trying to understand human technology. The ethereal dominion had gone silent, their scions unable to cope with minds they couldn't read. Captain Marcus Rivera stood on the observation deck of Kepler Station, watching as human ships came and went through the system. The station that had once been humanity's last outpost was now a major hub of activity. Trade ships from dozens of species docked here daily, all eager to do business with the humans they had once ignored. Hard to believe how much has changed, said Commander Sarah Chen, joining him at the window. Rivera nodded. 6 months ago you were preparing to die defending this place. Now it's one of the busiest ports in this sector. Through the window, they could see the Phantom docked at the main platform. The ship that had shocked the galaxy was no longer unique. 3 more vessels of the same class floated nearby, and work was beginning on a new space dock that could handle even larger ships. Captain Rivera, Commander Chen, you're needed in the communications center, came an announcement over the station's speakers. They made their way through corridors that were now filled with aliens and humans working together. Centauri engineers collaborated with human scientists. Aquarian traders discussed deals with human merchants. Even a few former coalition species had sent diplomatic missions. In the communications center, Admiral Martinez's face filled the main screen. Behind her, Rivera could see the massive construction platforms around Earth where humanity's new fleet was taking shape. Marcus, Sarah, I have good news, the Admiral said. The hegemony has officially recognized human territorial claims throughout the Outer Rim. More importantly, they're offering a mutual defense pact. Chen smiled. That's incredible. 6 months ago, they wouldn't even return our calls. Things change when you prove you can't be pushed around, Martinez replied. But that's not why I'm calling. We've received an interesting request. The screen split, showing a recording of Ambassador Zix-9 of the Vex Collective. The cyborg looked uncomfortable as he spoke. United Earth Government, the Vex Collective formally requests a technological exchange agreement. We offer our computational advances in return for insights into your quantum processing systems. Rivera raised an eyebrow. The Vex want to learn from us? Gets better, Martinez said with a grin. Watch this. Another recording appeared, this time showing High Scion Veltar of the Ethereal Dominion. The energy being's form was dim and flickering. Humanity, the Scion said. The Dominion acknowledges that we have much to learn about consciousness and thought. We request permission to study human mental patterns in exchange for our knowledge of energy manipulation. They want to study us? Chen asked in amazement. The species that thought we were primitive now want to learn from us, Martinez confirmed. And it's not just them. We've received similar requests from 23 different governments. Rivera looked out the window at the busy space lanes around Kepler Station. What about the coalition species? The ones that tried to wipe us out? Martinez's expression grew serious. Mixed results. The Aquarians and several smaller species have formally apologized and requested peace treaties. The Centauri have offered massive reparations. But the Zephyrians, still causing trouble? Chen asked. War leader Krathex is dead, Martinez said bluntly. Killed by his own people when they discovered he had been feeding them false intelligence about human capabilities. The new government is more reasonable. A new voice cut into the conversation. Admiral Martinez, this is Captain Thompson of the UES Retribution. We're detecting movement in the Zephyr system. The screen shifted to show Captain Lisa Thompson, commander of one of Earth's new dreadnoughts. Behind her, the bridge crew worked at stations that looked more like art than technology. Report, Captain, Martinez ordered. A Zephyrian fleet just jumped into our sensor range. 20 ships, all broadcasting peaceful intentions. They're requesting permission to approach Earth. Rivera and Chen exchanged glances. Even 6 months ago, the idea of Zephyrian ships approaching Earth would have been unthinkable. Let them come, Martinez decided, but keep the fleet ready, just in case. The conversation was interrupted by an urgent signal from the Phantom's bridge. Lieutenant Commander Hayes appeared on screen, her face excited. Captain, you need to see this. We're getting a transmission from deep space. It's from the Precursors. Everyone went silent. The Precursors were legends, an ancient race that had vanished millions of years ago, leaving behind artifacts that the galaxy's greatest scientists still couldn't understand. Put it through, Rivera ordered. The screen filled with static, then cleared to show something impossible. A figure that looked almost human but somehow more. Ancient eyes and a face that seemed to shift between forms. Greetings, children of Earth, the being said in perfect human language. We have been watching your emergence with great interest. Admiral Martinez found her voice first. You're a precursor? I am the last of my kind, the being replied. We have been sleeping for millennia, waiting for a species to prove they were ready for the next stage of galactic evolution. Ready for what? Rivera asked. The galaxy has been stagnant for too long, the precursor explained. Species evolve to a certain point, then stop growing. They become comfortable, predictable, weak. But humans continued to evolve, to adapt, to surprise. The image shifted, showing scenes of human history. Wars and peace, discovery and loss, triumph and failure. Your species faces destruction and becomes stronger. You encounter the impossible and make it possible. You think in ways that break the patterns others cannot escape. Chen stepped forward. What do you want from us? The precursor's expression might have been a smile. Nothing. We want to give you something. The knowledge we left behind scattered across the galaxy in our artifacts. It is time for it to be used again. Why us? Martinez asked. Because you have proven that consciousness is not a limitation but a tool. Your quantum computers don't just process information, they dream. Your enhanced minds don't just think, they create. You have shown that chaos and order can work together. The transmission began to fade. Look for our gifts, children of Earth, use them wisely. The galaxy needs teachers, not conquerors. The screen went dark, leaving the humans staring at empty space. Did that really just happen? Chen asked quietly. Before anyone could answer, alerts began sounding throughout the station. In space around them, objects were materializing. Ancient artifacts, precursor technology that had been hidden for millions of years, now appearing wherever humans were present. Rivera looked out at the stars, where the galaxy was about to change once again. Humanity had survived an attempt at genocide and emerged stronger. They had revealed technology that shocked their enemies and impressed their potential allies. They had gone from being hunted to being courted by the greatest powers in the galaxy, and now they were being given the tools to reshape everything. Admiral, he said into the communication system, I think we're going to need a bigger fleet. Martinez laughed, a sound of pure joy and anticipation. Marcus, I think we're going to need a bigger galaxy. Outside the station, the Phantom began its patrol once more. But now it was not alone. Human ships filled the space around Kepler Station and beyond. No longer hiding, no longer afraid. The galaxy had tried to destroy humanity and instead had awakened something that would change everything. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if welcoming humanity to their true place among them. The galaxy had been shocked by the appearance of one human ship. They had no idea what was coming next.